Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring the Zoom meeting of doom.
Okay.
A short story published just yesterday.
Oh, wow.
On Christmas Day, 2024, no less.
Wow.
It caught my eye because it was featured in the Best of Fiction section.
Right.
And the premise just seemed so timely, almost unsettling, given how much our work lives have changed in the past few years.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Even the title itself, the Zoom meeting of doom, feels like it's tapping into something we all might be feeling.
Yeah.
That unease about the blurring lines between our personal and professional lives.
Exactly. So much happens over Zoom these days.
Right.
Even those big life-changing moments. Think about it. Have you ever had a work call that felt like it could have been the meeting of doom?
Let's face it, those meetings are a reality for many people.
Right.
In this story, we meet Daniel,
Okay.
the CEO of a struggling company, Smithson Inc., who's forced to lay off 600 employees.
Oh, wow.
And how does he do it?
Right.
Via Zoom, of course.
It adds a whole other layer to the idea of a virtual firing squad, doesn't it?
Right.
It makes you wonder about the emotional distance technology creates, even when we're dealing with something as sensitive as someone's livelihood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where the story really starts to get under your skin.
Okay.
Because Daniel doesn't just face the professional fallout of his decision.
Right.
He starts being haunted by the ghosts of those he laid off.
Okay. So we've got this CEO making tough decisions.
Yeah.
But then it takes this supernatural turn. It's almost like the story is saying that even if you try to keep things professional and detached,
Right.
there are always human consequences that can't be ignored.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not just a ghost story. It's a story about guilt and responsibility, amplified by the setting of a Zoom meeting, which is often seen as a sterile and impersonal space.
And the story doesn't shy away from making those ghostly encounters truly creepy.
Right.
The author uses these vivid descriptions, disembodied whispers, shadowy figures lurking in the background of his calls, the ghost's eyes burning with anger.
Wow.
They even have this chilling chant they repeat. You destroyed our livelihoods, Daniel. Now you'll never find peace.
It's interesting how the author combines those classic horror tropes with very modern anxieties.
Yeah.
The fear of job loss, the feeling of being replaced by technology, the isolation of remote work. These are all very real concerns for people today.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost as if the ghosts are a manifestation of that collective anxiety.
Yeah.
The fear that we're all just cogs in a machine,
Yeah.
easily replaceable.
And it's not just the fear of losing a job.
Right.
It's the way it happens in the story. So impersonal and detached.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what makes it even more unsettling for readers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That it feels so plausible.
Right.
So close to our own reality.
That's a really profound thought.
And that raises an important question about the ethical implications of decisions made in a virtual environment. Can technology make it easier to dehumanize others?
Yeah.
To disconnect from the real world consequences of our actions?
It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Is it possible to maintain our humanity when so much of our interaction is mediated through screens?
It's a challenge for sure.
Right.
And the story doesn't offer easy answers. In fact, it takes a rather unexpected turn.
Oh, right.
Instead of simply tormenting Daniel, the ghosts actually help him take down the company.
Wait, what? That's not your typical ghost story revenge plot.
Right.
Tell me more about that twist.
Well, the ghosts essentially possess the company's servers, turning Smithson Inc. into a digital ghost town.
So, like...
They leak confidential information, disrupt operations, and ultimately cause the company's downfall.
So they're not just haunting him, they're acting as agents of disruption.
Right.
Almost like digital hacktivists.
Exactly.
But are their actions driven by a desire for justice?
That's the thing.
Or is it something more primal, a need for revenge?
That's the ambiguity of the story, isn't it?
Right.
We're left to wonder, are the ghosts forces of good or evil?
Yeah.
Are they seeking retribution or simply perpetuating a cycle of destruction?
And what about Daniel?
Yeah.
How does he react to this unexpected turn of events?
He's initially terrified, of course.
Right.
But as the company crumbles around him, he starts to see the ghosts in a different light.
Okay.
He even begins to collaborate with them,
Interesting.
using their digital prowess to expose the company's corruption.
Wow.
And ultimately become the sole beneficiary of its demise.
So, in a way, he benefits from the chaos they create.
Right.
It's almost like a perverse form of justice. But is it really a victory? Or is he trapped in a situation where there are no winners?
That's a great question for the listener to ponder.
Yeah.
If the company represents the system that wronged the laid-off employees, is its destruction a form of justice? Or is Daniel merely replacing one corrupt system with another?
And how does this all connect back to the story setting on Christmas Day?
The timing is crucial, I think.
Okay.
Christmas is traditionally a time of hope, goodwill, and togetherness.
Right.
But by placing this corporate horror story within that context, the author highlights the stark contrast between those ideals and the harsh realities of the business world.
It's like a reminder that even during the holidays, those anxieties about work, about the future, don't just disappear. They can linger in the back of our minds, haunting us even during moments of celebration.
Exactly. And it forces us to ask ourselves, are we sacrificing our humanity in the pursuit of success? At what point does ambition turn into greed? And what are the consequences for ourselves and others?
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
But it feels so relevant to our lives right now.
Absolutely.
The world is changing so rapidly, and technology is shaping so much of our experience, both at work and in our personal lives.
And this story, with its blend of realism and the supernatural, offers a thought-provoking exploration of those anxieties, those ethical dilemmas that we all face in this increasingly complex world.
It really does make you think. We've been talking about the blurring of work and personal life, the anxieties of a tech-driven world, and this story seems to amplify all of that.
And let's not forget the setting Christmas Day. It creates this unsettling tension between the supposed joy of the holiday and the very dark themes the story explores. It's almost as if the author is saying that these anxieties, these ethical dilemmas, can haunt us even in our most private moments.
That idea of being haunted really sticks with me. We've seen how the ghosts torment Daniel. But then they also empower him. It's a strange kind of partnership.
It is.
Do you think he ultimately finds peace? Or is he forever marked by the events of that fateful Zoom meeting?
That's the brilliance of the ending. It's left deliberately ambiguous. We don't know if Daniel is truly free from the ghosts. Or if they've become a permanent fixture in his life.
It's almost like a cautionary tale, isn't it? A reminder that even when we think we've made the tough but necessary decisions, there can be unintended consequences that ripple outward.
Precisely. And those consequences might not always be immediately apparent. They can manifest in unexpected ways, shaping our lives and the lives of those around us.
So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? What can we take away from this unsettling yet thought-provoking deep dive into the Zoom meeting of doom?
Well, I think the story challenges us to consider the human cost of our decisions, especially in a world where technology can create a sense of detachment. It reminds us that even in the digital age, our actions have real-world consequences.
It also makes me wonder about the safeguards we need in place to ensure ethical choices if technology allows us to distance ourselves from the impact of our actions. How do we stay connected to our values, to our humanity?
Those are crucial questions, and ones that we, as individuals and as a society, need to grapple with. The story doesn't provide easy answers, but it does offer a powerful reminder that the choices we make today can have far-reaching consequences, shaping not only our own futures, but the futures of others.
Food for thought indeed. And perhaps a reminder to be mindful of the choices we're making, both big and small, and the potential impact they might have, not just on ourselves, but on the world around us.
Well said, and maybe this holiday season, as we gather with loved ones, it's a good time to reflect on our own Zoom meetings of doom. Those moments where we might have made choices that, in hindsight, we wish we could change.
And perhaps more importantly, to consider how we can move forward with greater awareness, empathy, and a commitment to making choices that align with our values.
Because in the end, it's not just about avoiding the ghosts of our past, but about shaping a future where we can all thrive together.